Hey friends, it's Greg Wyszynski here, and we're going to discuss the readings for Sunday, February 4th, 2018. Now, every once in a while, we have a tendency to sit into church and to listen to what's being proclaimed, whether it's in the readings or the gospel, and to just say, I don't get it. And this week can be a challenging one. As a matter of fact, in full disclosure, I really had to go back and really sit with these scripture readings to think about how they applied to each and every one of us, and even in my own life. And they come down to one question for me: who do you belong to? There was a point in time in my life where I had to answer that question to God. I wasn't somebody who grew up with a youth group or really was strong in my faith as a young person. I didn't have the same opportunities that some of you do. So when it came time to being an adult, I kind of drifted away for a few years. I stopped going to church altogether and really kind of lost who I was along the way. A little under 10 years ago, I gave up my life in the corporate world and in the business world to serve the Lord in ministry, because I could definitively answer that question of who I belong to. And so today, when we look at our readings, what we have is we have this question of who do you belong to in three different ways. Number one, Job, who is about as low as you can get, right? He is just complaining to no end, and he's actually in a discussion with a friend of his. A friend of him kind of laid out how God takes care of us, and Job just wants to respond with how bad things are. But the rest of the story will tell us that Job does remain faithful. He does know who he belongs to, and while we don't hear about it on this Sunday, I invite each and every one of you to look further into that story to know how he triumphs in the end. Then we have Paul, who's writing this letter to the Corinthians, and what he's talking about is he's talking about being a disciple, about he's got to be all things to all people, and there's no greater joy for him than to preach the gospel. And so he shows us that who he belongs to is to Christ and to the Father in the way that he serves them. And then we have the story of the gospel of Jesus. Now, in the gospel reading from Mark, this is an account of an everyday life occurrence for Christ. And it's at the very beginning of his ministry. So he goes in to heal Simon's mother-in-law, and then he goes in to heal a few other people. And it kind of, we would think, well, okay, so what else did he do that was spectacular? But that in itself is spectacular. Any miracle is spectacular. And so in the end, Jesus becomes tired, and he does want to honor the Sabbath. So he goes off to pray. And why does he go off to pray in addition to being or needing to be recharged? He goes off to pray because he knows who he belongs to. And so, my friends, in each and every one of these accounts, as you listen to the readings this week and as you prepare your own heart and even get ready for Lent over these next few weeks, ask yourself that question: who do I belong to? And in the everyday occurrences of your life, your own biography, if people were to write about you, how would they say the story ends when it comes to you answering that question of who you say you belong to? So do all you can this week to honor God in your actions and your thoughts. Don't miss the opportunities to be Christ for others. And most importantly, when you lay your head on your pillow at the end of the night, will you look back at your day and say, Lord, I know I belong to you? Or do you need to say, Lord, I'm going to spend this time in prayer so that tomorrow I'll connect with you more deeply? My friends, stay blessed, stay holy, and I pray that God will meet you everywhere that you desire him always. Take care till we see you soon.